What is up, all you beautiful Pokemon fans? I'm your host, PokeNoob, or Keegan, and I'm here with my co-host, as always, Jill.
Hello.
And we are the PokeNoob Podcast. So we have a pretty exciting episode laid out for you guys, as usual. We're going to go through our normal order of events as planned. We got Poke News of the Week going into Jill's segment on the hunt. We got TCG Talk, who's it gonna be? Our break, and then the good stuff after, card openings, all that good stuff. Okay, so Jill, how you doing today before we get started?
Doing pretty well. I'm excited to talk about what we're going to be talking about today on TCG Talk. How about you?
Same. I mean, I love Pokemon. There's some cool stuff going on this week, especially with the news. Something I wasn't expecting with the Pokemon world, but yeah, it's a good day. All right, so speaking of that, we're gonna roll right into Poke News of the week, and this week is, like I said, something that kind of surprised me. So Pokemon is launching a 25th anniversary website, and with that, they're going to be announcing a partnership with Katy Perry. So they released a little bit of a trailer on this, and it's pretty cool. It kind of goes through a lot of the past merchandise that we've been seeing, whether it's TCG, figures, Pokemon Go, games, anything Pokemon related, it kind of hinted to, just a lot of stuff we saw all over the year. But at the end, it kind of gave a little bit of a hint to Katy Perry doing some sort of musical program with Pokemon. The anniversary website states Pokemon will be working with Katy Perry and some of the biggest names in the music industry, so it could be even more than just Katy Perry. But an article was posted on People.com, and it went further into it, stating that she will be collaborating, and it's going to be a whole new, in quotes, new music program. So not much else has been revealed yet. Pokemon's website states that they will be unrevealing themed collectibles, events, and promotions throughout 2021, and each month the website will revisit a Pokemon region, starting with Galar in March. So that's going to be pretty exciting, seeing all different kinds of Pokemon products through different Pokemon regions. But yeah, they got a lot going on. They revealed in the trailer an English version of the shiny Charizard VMAX that's going to be released in Shining Fates. So we got a little bit of what that's going to look like. But overall, it's pretty exciting. It looks like they're really doing it up for the 25 years of Pokemon. I hope it turns out to be as exciting as it's looking right now. I believe the 20th year anniversary, we had the Evolutions pack. So I think the set that's already set for this 25th is going to be Shining Fates. But either way, that's going to be a really awesome set. Curious to see what Katy Perry's going to be doing with Pokemon in general. And yeah, you got any opinions on Katy Perry in the Pokemon world?
One thing is I think, they're doing really good marketing for this 25th anniversary coming up. And also, at the end of the article, where it says update, it says jumbo cards of all the starter Pokemon will be releasing too. And then that led to another link from that same article that you're reading from, that with this new release, they're actually coming out with giant cards, which I think we talked about before. I wish they did more, like having a set with just giant playable cards. I don't know, it's just kind of interesting to me. But they are coming out with all the base set starters. They're coming out with giant cards for them with the 25th anniversary thing, and then it has the dates for each one. Like Keegan said, they're starting with a Galar pack to Alola, Kalos, Unova, Sinnoh, Hoenn, Johto, and Kanto. I hope I pronounced them all right, but yeah, I think that's also another cool thing that's coming out with this whole 25th anniversary thing.
Yeah, and we've seen some of these jumbo booster packs opened on YouTube, Japanese versions, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be exciting, I'm sure. I mean, like I said before, it's kind of hard to collect big cards unless you have something specific for it. But yeah, I mean, still, it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited to see all those starters in massive form. But yeah, that was Poke News of the week for this week. Basically, just an announcement for the partnership with Katy Perry and the 25th anniversary website. I'm going to be putting a link to the article for Poke News of the week, but there's also a video of there for the trailer. If you haven't seen that yet, I would definitely go check it out. It was cool to watch. It's like they have a Pokeball going through like a whole little ball course, and like they go through a lot of past products. It was interesting. But along with that, we're gonna go right into on the hunt for this week. And Jill, what did you happen to find?
So for on the hunt this week, this isn't necessarily just shop related, but a product that I came across browsing on the internet. The shop is Multiverse Books, and they do a Poke-Nanami, the Science of Pokemon. It's unofficial, but the amount of detail that is in this book from the preview pages and even the reviews saying it is just amazing. As the description says, it's an unofficial anatomical art project reimaging Pokemon through the lens of modern biology. So, one of the pictures that is on that they have like on view is a Tangela, and it has like all the different parts of the Tangela's body. Uh, there's something that says like there's the respiratory sac, the tentacle, body care core. Just going through again like the anatomy of a Pokemon, and then in the page next to it, it goes into detail with the biology, behavior, and abilities of that Pokemon, and it does do the original 151 Pokemon, and each page has an illustration of that Pokemon. And yeah, I just think that's like such a cool artistic thing to do. Um, with this because it's just something fun, and it gives you in-depth detail about that Pokemon, like I said. uh you know the behavior, the physiology of it. And yeah, I think this is such a cool thing, especially for being an art project that has taken probably so much time to finish.
God, it makes you think that you could walk outside and find these things in real life. But I just wanted to say, yeah, the detail that they put into each one of these drawings is almost so good you wouldn't think it was not created by Pokemon. But it also kind of shows the inner core of some of these Pokemon. For example, like you were talking about Tangela, and I will say Tangela is a lot more horrifying to me now, seeing it behind its tentacles. But yeah, I mean, this is a really cool book. It's definitely something I would look into getting. I wonder, I mean, Tangela is page 227, so they must have done a good amount of these too. And it's just crazy how they go into the key facts. I mean, they have lifestyle, breeding facts, size facts. It says Tangela here has a clutch size of 20 eggs when it births. So, I mean, like, it's just weird how they put every little detail into each Pokemon. So, I don't know. It's really cool. I would definitely look into this. It's definitely worth the money. 45 depending on the style. If you want the leather, it's 55. Hardcovers 45. But overall, this is just a really cool product. And if you're a Pokemon fan and you don't have this, are you really?
I wouldn't go as far as to
Yeah, I
say
mean, I don't
that,
have it,
but
so I'm calling
uh,
myself out there.
but I do think this is just something really unique, and yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely try to pick one of these up. I'm gonna do one myself because, like, I just want to go through all the pages now. But yeah, that was really cool. Really cool pick this week. But we're gonna roll right into TCG talk for this week. So, for TCG talk this week, I just wanted to talk about some of the cards that are expected to come out in the new Battle Styles set. We've been seeing them already in Japan, but we just wanted to talk about them a little bit more if you haven't been able to translate the Japanese language over. But we're going to talk about what they actually do and, how effective they can be. So we have two links here, some of the Pokemon that have been released already, or leaked, I should say. But I'm going to have Jill look over the Pokemon first and kind of give her overall opinion about it, and then I'll try my best to explain it as we go. So the first Pokemon we got here is Colossal. It is a Stage 2, 180 health. What are you thinking about this guy?
Um, this already has some pretty powerful moves. The first move is translated to Coal Cannon. It's 90 times damage for flipping a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack does 90 damage for each head, so you can attach as many energies you want. This first move does take one colorless energy, so I mean you could do 90 times, it, and then add another 90 if you flip a heads, and get 180 damage for one colorless energy move. And then the second is Wild Tackle. It does 200 damage, and then it does 50 damage to itself. So this is a very powerful non, V or GX or whatever type of Pokemon, already.
Yeah, I mean 200 damage for something that you're only going to get one prize card for is, as we've seen before, pretty effective. And um, I mean that 4 energy does look scary to try to pull off, but if you remember the triple acceleration energy, it works for evolution Pokemon. So you could throw 1 fighting energy on there and then the triple acceleration energy, and you'll be able to do 200 damage by your second turn. So
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
even like with the first turn with that one colorless, like you can just keep stacking on and
right,
uh,
and I was
eh,
gonna say this move actually reminds me of a more effective Maractus. The grass Pokemon does 60 damage for each heads. So that alone, I mean 90 damage for each heads, and we've seen the Maractus pop off and get over, 400 plus damage. So especially if you have Glimwood Tangle, which we've talking about a lot, you can give yourself a second chance to flip those coins. And I mean, come on, even 2 heads, 180 damage. That's 2 energy. Like, that's nuts if you can actually pull that off. But I mean, yeah, I think this Colossal here, is it Colossal? Yeah, Colossal has definitely some potential. And I'm curious to see how it's going to play out. I wouldn't put it against Semiractus, though, because it is weak to grass. And it also does have that 4 retreat cost, so if you wanted to use the fighting tool, buff padding, it would give you an extra 50 health. So, 230 health for a single prize card is not bad at all. I mean, most people running single prize decks are usually dealing with low amounts of health, like Bunnelby with 40, Poltegeist with 60. I believe Blacephalon has 120, maybe 60. I don't remember Blacephalon's, but still lower than this Colossal. I mean, if you could find a way to work it out in a deck, I would like to see it. So I think it definitely has some potential. So what are you thinking about this Licky Licky?
well, the first move, which is called Licky Choice, um, just seems like a standard. Your opponent discards the top 3 cards of their deck. Alternatively, they choose 3 cards from their hand and discard them instead. So, nothing too special. And then the second move, on the other hand, is pretty interesting. It's called Pitch. It does 100 damage, and then your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. So they have that. They have to have that being switched. If they have something on their bench, so that could make it a little difficult if somebody's, their fighting Pokemon is that's the one they have on the bench. They have to switch it out. So unless they have a switch or they are able to retreat it somehow and put the other one back up that just took the
Yeah, it's
damage,
interesting.
it kind of messes with you.
Yeah, I feel like if like you said, they don't have any switches or any possible way to retreat, you can keep throwing in who you want to attack. You attack someone, you throw in one of their Pokemon that can't really attack you at the moment. You attack that one, switch another one in. I feel like you could have some fun with this Lickitung, or Licky Licky, sorry. It evolves from Lickitung. But yeah, it's got 140 health. It's a colorless type, as we know the Licky Licky is. The first move you were talking about, 3 colorless, Licky Choice. So your opponent discards the top 3 cards from their deck. Alternatively, they choose 3 cards from their hand and discard them instead. So it looks like they get the choice of whether to discard from their deck or their hand. So that's interesting as well because, I mean,
I mean, that could be helpful to some of the decks where you need to discard,
right.
certain things.
So you definitely want to be careful using Licky Choice. Make sure you're against something that, preferably doesn't want to discard anything. But yeah, I think that actually has some potential too. I mean, some interesting moves coming out. So we're going to move to the other page here that we found from Poke Beach. And the first Pokemon, we're breaking more into Vs and VMAXs now, but the first Pokemon on this list that has been leaked is the Kricketune V. What are you thinking about this one?
So, looking at it now, it has an ability, and the ability is once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. If this Pokemon is the active spot, you may draw cards until you have 4 in your hand. You can't use this ability if you used another stage elation in this turn.
Okay.
Uh, so, again, something that could be a little helpful. Nothing too crazy. Uh, it's not like it similar on the lines of like a Crobat where you can use it for its ability, but I personally don't see much potential in this unless you have another opinion.
Yeah.
Uh the move is X Scissor, 80 plus damage if you flip a coins. If heads, this attack does 80 more damage. So you're looking to do about 160 damage with this card. Again, not
On a 50-50 chance.
yeah, nothing too special I see about this V card. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean,
What do you think?
we definitely got to wait and see if this one gets a VMAX and see if it'll, give it some more potential. But obviously this move is going to be used, the stage elation here, because anything with that kind of draw support, people are going to try to, see if it works well in their deck. I mean, maybe it'll work better in a grass deck because it's a grass card. I mean, that doesn't make too much sense, but the one way I could really see people using it is, I mean, it has a 1 retreat cost, so throw it up there if you have no cards in your hand just to get that extra 4. And then, it's not the end of your turn yet, so if you can get them up there, you can retreat them out after you get those extra cards. So, I mean, it has some, in the right time moments, it has some potential to me.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, I agree.
against fire, or if it's out at the wrong time, 180 damage ain't gonna last forever. So, I mean, health points. So, it's a risky one. But, the ability is definitely interesting. I could see people switching him in it. I could see people switching him in and out just to get some extra cards drawn. So, we'll see. So what are you seeing about? So next up we have the Cherim. Stage 1 evolves from Cherubi, 80 health. What are you thinking about this guy?
So this one, I actually can see some potential with it. Its ability is as often, it's called Spring Bloom, the ability. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach an energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. I believe the G, it might be grass energy. Because this says attach a
Right.
G energy. So if you're working with a grass deck, that could be really helpful to be able to attach, more than if you have like 4 grass energies in your hand. You can attach them to whatever you have on your bench or in the active spot. And then the move, it's a seed bomb for 1 grass energy and 2 colorless. It does 70 damage. So again, I think this is just really working with the ability on the card for helping out grass decks.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of blows my mind about the ability is it says as often as you like during your turn, you can attach grass energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So you have a whole hand, 7 cards of grass energy. You can put all of them out because it says as often as you like during your turn.
Yeah.
If you fill your hand up with as much grass as you possibly have and you have this Cherim out, you're going to be getting set up really fast. And not to mention, grass decks are usually playing
Yeah.
Rillabooms, which I believe lets them put 2 energy out from the deck.
I think this also gives more potential to something like we were talking about earlier with the Mercactus. You
Yeah,
could just attach all that energy
true.
and just destroy
So it says, so as
Pokemon.
often as you like, you may attach a energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So yeah, I guess that just means as many as you have in your hand, right? That's nuts. Yeah, and the Maractus especially, because you could just stack that up. Aim for big damage. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm excited to see how that one's going to work out. I feel like grass has just got a major boost. Huh. Because, I mean, they already had pretty decent energy acceleration. And now they're going to have this. So that'll be interesting. So next up, we have Victini V, 190 health. And we have seen Victini V actually before, but now it looks like Victini's got some new moves. So I don't know if I've seen something like this before either, where they make a same V card but with different moves.
Yeah, I was just actually, that's my first thought I had while looking at this, and I was going to ask you, is like, I know there's another Victini card. I use a Victini card in my deck, and yeah, that's it's interesting that, and I like this art more. I don't know, he looks so animated.
I like
But
it.
anyways, the first move is for one fire energy, V bullet. 10 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon V, this attack does 50 more damage. So you're doing 60 damage for the first move for one fire energy. And then the next move is fire and colorless, and it's a flare shot. It does 120 damage, and then you have to discard all the energy from that Pokemon. So, not too bad. I mean, I think the Victini move on the other Victini V, the first one is a draw card. So it's one colorless, and I believe you can pull energy from your discard. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the Victini V from the past and compared to this one, they're obviously two very different cards, but what's interesting to me is they have a VMAX coming out, which we're going to talk about next. And I'm guessing you can evolve either one of these into the VMAX, which is pretty cool. So what's interesting about the Victini V is we're going to be talking about it next, and they have a Victini VMAX coming out as well. But what strikes me is that you're going to be able to evolve either of these Victini Vs into that Victini VMAX. So you know, whatever sort you like playing better or whatever fits better into your deck you can use. And but yeah, the Victini V, as you were saying, that one colorless energy, you can attach up to 3 fire energies from your discard, and then it has another useful move for 2 energies, which is 30 damage for each energy attached to both Pokemon, which also is a pretty good move. But this new Victini V, it seems like, they're starting to give the Pokemon Vs something a little more to worry about. Um, that one energy 10 plus 50 damage to a V. 60 damage isn't bad for one energy, not at all. And then if you go into the second move, 120 damage, that's not bad either, especially since you're playing fire. You can welder those 2 energies back on next turn. So, I mean, not bad. We'll get into the VMAX though now to see if it, gets even better than that. So, what are you seeing from the VMAX?
Well, to go off of that last move, Flare Shot, the first move for colorless for the VMAX is Spreading Flames, which you attach up to 3 fire energy from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. So if you pull that out after you do that first move, or the second move, I'm sorry, uh, you already can attach it and build up this Victini V Max. And then the second move is similar to the first move of the Victini V. Is it does, but where it does a certain amount of damage, and then if it's a V card, it does more damage. Well, this one does 100 damage, and if the active Pokemon is a V, it does 120 more damage. So you're looking at 220
That's 2
damage
energy.
from this card. Yeah, just for 2 energy, and you don't have to discard, and you can attach more energy. So for those fire decks, this is going to be really helpful, especially where you have, say for me, I use a Victini in my deck for Scorch, but I don't really use it that much. I try to mainly use the Scorch, but with this, now I can use a VMAX version of it and be able to attach energy in other ways other than relying on a welder. So that's really cool, and I think this is probably the best card
Oh
so
yeah, this card
far.
is,
Well, for my favor that I personally
yeah,
like.
it's gonna make a difference for sure. I mean, 2 energy for 220 damage when most players of this game are using V cards, that's gonna make a huge difference. And, maybe even a game changer. Maybe that might come up to a number 1 deck, who knows. But I mean, I can't really think of much, HP levels of Vs off the top of my head, but the ones surrounding this web page here, I see 190, 180,
Yeah, they're
210,
usually around
160.
160 to 2
Yeah, and then I
something,
mean one of the
220s.
scariest V Pokemons to come across is Zacian V with 220 health, which instantly goes away. I mean, it has a fire weakness anyway, but off the top of my head, I can't think of a Pokemon V card that this Victini VMAX cannot one-shot. But I guess we'll find out. I mean, that's definitely a card that's going to be worrying me, especially if Jill gets a hand of it. But next up we have Tapu Koko V. This is another card that I believe we've had before. You can go into it. I'm gonna check and see if it's similar to the last Tapu Koko V.
Okay, so with this Tapu Koko V, the first move for an electric energy, just one, it does 40 damage, not too bad. And then the second move, which takes 2 electric energies and 1 colorless, is called Spiral Thunder, and it does 20 plus damage. And this attack does 40 more damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So that's really helpful. I mean, I can see it being very useful in any electric deck if you're doing, a Pikarom.
I could see it being useful against your deck.
Yeah, that's
Oh, but it is
true.
all your opponent's Pokemon. So yeah, Pikarom too, because they just set it up everywhere.
Yeah, that could be like, very good if you're playing with the
Or
electric deck or
Maractus.
against. Yeah. Anything that does a lot of energy, and like you said with my deck, using a Scorch, you stack and stack and stack up energy for that move. So if I have 6 plus energy on one Pokemon, that's doing a lot of damage, and I don't know. I think that's a pretty cool move
Yeah,
to
that is a
use.
interesting card. I mean, I could see myself using this in my Pikarom deck, for those times I do come across Scorch VMAX, because that would, what, instantly one-shot him? Imagine if a Scorch had 6 energies on there, that's 240 plus 20. Okay, it wouldn't one-shot him, but still for one, oh no, 3 energy, okay. Uh, it would be difficult to face a Scorch VMAX with this guy because he could probably just one-shot Tapu Koko anyway. But I mean, if the time's right, who knows? I could see some potential with this guy. But it is different than the last Tapu Koko V we had. The last one, it was 1 energy, 20 damage, and you got to draw 2 cards. That's Spike Draw. And then it also had Thunderous Bolt, 200 damage, and then during your next move, you can't attack, and that's for 2 electric energies and 1 colorless. So they are also different. in two very different ways again, but they are also going to be both able to evolve into the Tapu Koko VMAX with 320 health. So what do you want to talk to us about this guy?
Well, this only has one move, two electric and one colorless, max shock, 180 damage, and if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent active Pokemon is now paralyzed. So, you have a chance to paralyze.
Comeback card.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, not too much exciting going on with Tapu Koko VMAX, but yeah, like I said, all I can really think of is, I mean, it has a one retreat cost too, which isn't bad for a VMAX. You can slide in and out of there, but the max shot isn't bad. Paralyzing your opponent is definitely a upside for you because it gives you time to, set up a little more if they can't switch them out. So paralyzing is always a, decent tactic. So now we're gonna roll into Mimikyu V, and I'm gonna check if there was another one, but you can go ahead and start with this guy.
Okay, so it has an ability called Dummy Doll. You may use this ability once during your turn. When you play this card from your hand onto your bench until the end of your until the end of your opponent's turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So that's pretty solid to be able to have some sort of resistance against your opponent. And then the next for a Psychic Energy called Envy and Eyes. Put 3 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon for each prize card your opponent has taken.
Another comeback
So,
card.
so you could do about 60 damage with this Mimikyu. Again, nothing. I don't know. In my opinion, nothing too crazy. Unless there's something else that can make this a bit more powerful. Uh,
I mean,
yeah.
the main reason I could see this guy being used is for his ability. It's basically like a turn saver because when you throw him down on your bench, you can switch them up to your active spot, and if they don't have a boss's orders or something like that, you got all damage prevented for that turn. So it's basically just like a turn saver to me. But the Envying Eyes for one Psychic Energy isn't terrible. 3 damage counters to your opponent for the prize cards they take. So if they took, 5 prize cards, that's 150 damage for one energy. So, that's not awful. But he's got 160 health. He's not going to be lasting too long out there. To compare Mimikyu to its last card, it was a GX for 170 health, a fairy card actually. Um, it was able to one fairy energy could confuse their opponent, and then it has Let's Snuggle and Fall, one fairy and one colorless. It does 10 plus 30 for each damage counter on your opponent's active. So they are two very different cards, but I'm curious to see how this one turns out as well. I feel like the only reason I'm going to be seeing that card is for the damage prevention, but other than that, I really like the art on it. I don't know about you, but it's cool looking.
Oh yeah, I like it too. I agree.
There's like crystal rocks behind them and stuff. It's cool. Okay, so we got a few more Pokemon to talk about. We're done with the Vs and the V Maxes, but next up we have Primeape. It is stage 1, and this is one of the new types of Pokemon. It is a single strike Pokemon. But yeah, what are you thinking about this guy?
So its first move is called for what colors Field Crush. Does 20 damage, and then you discard any stadium card in play. That could be useful depending on what stadiums you have. Um, and then the next for two fighting energies, it's Frenzy Bomb. It does 50 times damage of each. This attack does 50 damage for each of your bench Pokemon with any damage counters on them. So another comeback card. If you have damage on your bench anyway, you can do uh 50 times whatever. Not too bad.
Yeah, it's not a bad Pokemon at all. People have been looking for certain fighting Pokemons to carry the standard format because of all the Crobats and Dedennis being played, something to just switch those in and take the knockout for a one prize card, that's not bad. But like I said before, this is a single strike Pokemon, and we haven't went into what the actual energy, because there's new single strike energy and rapid strike energy, and this Mankey is going to be able to have single strike energy on it. But as I was saying, we haven't really went over what these energies do. So the single strike energy, it works for any Pokemon that is a single strike Pokemon, obviously. If it's not, it gets automatically discarded. But as long as they are single strike Pokemon, it provides a fighting energy or a dark energy, and it also does 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So you get a damage boost and you get an extra energy on there. And then the rapid strike energy for those rapid strike Pokemon. Um, Obviously, same thing. If you apply it to a Pokemon that's not Rapid Strike, it gets discarded. But if it's okay. So Rapid Strike, it provides two energy of any combination of water or fighting. So it's basically a twin energy for water and fighting Pokemon. But they also have to be Rapid Strike. But that's not bad, you know. Double energy always adds up. But yeah, Mankey. I mean, oh wait, this is Primate. Sorry. Primeape, not looking bad. Always nice to discard stadiums out of play just in case that stadium is tearing you down in a certain way. I know, for example, Jill likes to have her giant hearth stove or whatever it is for her fire deck, but a lot of people are able to put in those what is it,
Chaotic swell.
chaotic swell, correct. It has like the tornado picture on it. That's gonna be nice to take out of play and put your stadium out if you have this Primeape in your deck. But yeah, not too much going on there. I'm definitely excited to see how these single strike and rapid strike Pokemon play out. But speaking of rapid strike, next up we have Phalanx, 110 health, basic. What are you thinking?
Only has one move for fighting in colorless. Rapid strike formation does 20 times damage. This attack does 20 damage for each of your rapid strike Pokemon in play.
Okay, pretty simple. I guess you're just gonna want to try to um, stack up as many rapid strikes as you can. I also know that Phalanx in the past had a move that did more damage for how many Phalanx were out in play. So what if you could somehow combine the two and then get damage added for Rapid Strike and Phalanx? I don't know if that's possible, but maybe since it's Rapid Strike and Phalanx, they might be hinting to something like that. But yeah, I mean, I can't really speak too much of this card right now until we see how it's played. Because the max damage, I'm thinking you're only going to get 120 unless it works with adding the Phalanx's damage as well. Because that was their previous move. They would do damage for how many Phalanx you had out on the bench. But yeah, that's Phalanx. Not too much going on there as well. And then we're going to go into our last Pokemon from this list. It's Bronzong with 110 health. Evolves from Bronzor, obviously. And what do you want to talk about this guy?
So it has an ability, Metal Trance, and it is as often as you like during your turn, you may move a metal energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon, which automatically is just going to be really helpful for ADP Zacian decks. And also, the other move is a metal into colorless Zen Headbutt. It does 70 damage. So I feel like you're really just using this for its ability
Yeah, it's
this time
basically like
around.
having an energy switch at all times if you have him down. So that's not bad because I know when I'm playing ADP Zacian sometimes I'm freaking out trying to get an energy switch. So if this guy's down, I don't even have to worry about it. Unless I'm trying to switch water energy around. But I mean, straight metal, not bad. So the last cards in this list are just some trainers that are going to be released for battle strikes. Some of them I believe have been in gameplay before, but I'm just going to run through them real quick. So first of all, we have the escape rope. Each player can, it's an item. Each player can switch their active Pokemon with one of their benched. Your opponent switches first. If a player does not have a benched Pokemon, they don't switch, but you may play as many item cards as you like before your attack. We already knew that, but this isn't bad. I mean, being able to switch out your opponent's Pokemon, obviously we know that's effective, and this being an item, you can use it as many times as you want, but you're gonna have to switch your Pokemon too, so hopefully you can have something to switch in and attack as well. Next up, we have the Tool Jammer. It's a tool Pokemon. Attach a Pokemon tool to one of your Pokemon. As long as this is attached to the active spot Pokemon, Pokemon tool cards attached to your opponent's active Pokemon have no effect. So that's going to be effective for sure. It's a tool Pokemon that jams other tools. So, sometimes tools can make a big difference. So being able to shut them down like that will be pretty cool. So next up we have a trainer that's actually a Rapid Strike supporter. So it's Karina's Motivation. Draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. And I'm not sure if this has anything to actually do to Rapid Strike Pokemon. It doesn't say it does, but I mean, I'm curious to see if it will. Maybe it'll have an extra boost to Rapid Strike Pokemon. Who knows? Next up, we have Phoebe, which is a supporter. During this turn, damage from the attacks of your Pokemon VMAX aren't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So the attacks of your VMAX aren't affected by effects. Okay, so the best way I could describe this is if a Pokemon did an attack that also, got rid of energy, it wouldn't do the energy part. It would just do the damage. But it would only prevent your VMAXs from getting those effects. Next up we have Bruno, which is a trainer supporter for single strike. Yet again, I don't know if this actually applies to single strike Pokemon, but for this one, you shuffle your hand into your deck and then draw 4 cards. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, draw 7 instead. So that's not bad. I mean, it's kind of just like Professor's Research if you got knocked out last turn. So I don't know how good that one will actually be, but yet again, it doesn't state anything for the single strike, so it could apply something different to single strike Pokemon. And lastly, we have Cheryl supporter. You can heal all damage from each of your evolution Pokemon and then discard all energy attached to the Pokemon you healed in this way. So overall, just a big healer. I wouldn't use it if you have so much energy out, but yeah, I mean that can be effective in many different ways. Just being able to heal certain Pokemons that are about to get knocked out can always help. But yeah, those were the cards we were talking about that are going to be released in Battle Styles. But other than that, anything you want to say before we end TCG talk here?
No, I think we covered this really well.
Yeah, I'm excited for this set. Seems like they're going to have a lot of TCG potential here. I don't know how much for the collecting aspect of it, but that's why Shining Fates is coming out, so no need to worry about that. All right, so we're going to roll into our last segment before the break.
Who's it gonna be?
And for this week, so we were both to find a Flareon card for this week, and I'm going to start off first. So the Flareon I found was it was a Sword and Shield promo actually, but it's got 110 health. It evolves from Eevee, obviously, and my first move is Singe for 1 fire energy. I can burn my opponent's active Pokemon. And my next move is Kindle for 120 energy. I can discard an energy from this Pokemon, and if I do, I have to discard an energy from my opponent's Pokemon as well. So, I got something going on here. What do you got for Flareon?
So mine is actually a Flareon from Sun and Moon promo. It's has 1 colorless energy move bite, 20 damage, and then do 2 fire and 1 colorless. It does a fire spin, which is 130 damage, and then you discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon.
Okay. So, if we were to compare the two, I mean, you obviously got that 130 damage on me, but, if I could get my move off first, I would take an energy off of you. I mean, I could see this one going both ways, obviously, since it calls for 3 energies,
Yeah, and they both
and then
do
we both
enough
have
to knock
110.
each other out. So it's
So
like,
yeah, I'd say it's really down to whoever welders first.
yeah.
So yeah, I'll call this one a draw for this week. So we're gonna go into our random generator for next week. Any Pokemon you're hoping for besides Jirachi?
Um, it'd be cool if we could do a stage 2 Pokemon.
True.
Any stage 2 ones to
All
do a
right.
little bit higher damage.
And generating in 3, 2, 1. We got Surfetched. All right. So that should be pretty exciting. Next week we will do our Surfetched 1v1 situation. But besides that, we're going to take a little bit of a break, guys, and we'll be right back. What is up, everybody? We are back from our break, refreshed and ready to do the favorite part of our show, open some Pokemon cards. So this week, I'm going to start off with a Sword and Shield base set pack, and then we're going to roll into Jill with her Burning Shadows. Let's hope we can get some good luck out of this. And I have a green code. Sweet. So you can get this Sword and Shield booster pack online with N67, ZX2P, B44, CWL. Sword and Shield. Alright. Want to guess this energy?
Sword and Shield. Metal.
I'm going Psychic. Fire. Okay, we got Aurora Energy. Not bad.
Helpful.
Dubwool. Big guy. Quillfish. Blipbug. A Baltoy. Wooloo. Joltik. Salandit. Got a reverse hollow metal saucer. Not bad. Pretty cool. And a big ol' Snorlax.
Not bad.
He's eating apples.
Got some
Fruits.
very helpful cards. So I'm going to go in to open a Burning Shadows.
Hyper rare Charizard.
Hyper rare Charizard. Hyper rare Charizard. Okay, let's see. Got a white code card. It's gonna be something good, hopefully.
It could be the Charizard.
Hopefully it's not just like a hollow.
It could be the Charizard.
Okay. You can get this code for Burning Shadows online. DJW B6G29PVPKK. And we're gonna start off. What are you gonna guess?
Fire. Why not?
I'll go with electric.
Grass.
Got a grass. Okay, so to start off, we have a Noctowl, a Dusclops, Metapod, Noibat, Dupiter, Tangela, Rhyhorn, Riolu, a reverse hollow Solrock,
Oh, that's cool. And
a hollow Lycanroc.
I've seen too many of those from Champions Pack.
I know. This one looks...
It's not bad. I probably don't have... Actually, I think I do. But he looks scarier.
Yeah, like, it looks different. Like, I don't like the art too much on this. I had a feeling it was going to be a hollow, but not bad anyways.
Yeah, we'll take it. I mean, Snorlax and a hollow.
Yeah, not bad.
Alright, so we're going to roll in what did Jirachi do this week, because we're running kind of late on time today. So we're also actually going to skip GottaCatchEm'All Pokemon products for this day. We actually, there wasn't too many new products anyway to talk about. So anyway, we're going to get right into what did Jirachi do this week. And it's pretty simple. Um, so the other night, I was out in the living room. We have a PlayStation 4 and we have the VR setup for it currently. But I was actually playing the bar fight simulator, and Jirachi, he was just hanging out in the living room with me, kind of watching me play VR, kind of realizing what kind of alien technology I was messing with. But in this game Bar Fight Simulator, obviously you're, going in there to get into a bar fight. So, Jirachi's sitting all peacefully in front of me, and in my head, all I see is, people I just got to start fighting. So I just start swinging my hands, swinging my fists. I'm fighting people in this video game, and then Jirachi, he's just down under my feet. He's barking at me. He's getting scared. He's getting nervous because I'm swinging my arms around fighting people in VR. And I mean, I didn't get the best sight on this as Jill did. She was dying of
I
laughter
was
watching this happen.
watching the whole thing. Every time Keegan went for a swing, his head would go back and his eyes got big, and he would make a little like barking noise, like almost like a whiny noise. Yeah, he didn't like it at all. He was pretty angry at Keegan.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't do Bar Fight Simulator anymore. As long as Jirachi's not in the room, it should be fine. But, he's a little boy. I guess he's just got nervous. He thought I was going to go bonkers mode and
I know
start fighting everything.
he was scared. Um,
But, yeah, that was pretty much it. We've been giving him a lot of freedom out in the living room at night, and he just kind of zooms around for some reason, goes crazy. And that's pretty much what we're used to around here. Anything else you want to say about the little guy before we go on?
other than we were playing the game of life and he ate one of the cars.
Oh yeah.
We're missing the car now.
Yeah, we got the Game of Life the other day from Target, I believe, and I think second day we had it out. My sister dropped her car, and Jirachi, the Godzilla he is, was on the floor, and
He ate
poor
it.
little family went down the tubes. So yeah, we're currently dealing with 3 cars in the Game of Life. Only 3-player game now. But Jirachi's playing in the heart. All right, but that was it for what did Jirachi do this week. Again, we are going to be skipping GottaCatchEm'All Pokemon Products only because today, is turning out to be way longer of an episode than we both planned. But we're going to finish it out with the Pokemon trivia for this week. Last week we asked you guys what could happen to you if you were if you were to grab one of Ninetales' tails. Jill's guess was something like getting burned, right? So, if you grabbed Ninetales, one of their tails, you are going to be cursed for 1,000 years. Now, it doesn't go into the specifics of this curse. Who knows what kind of curse it could be? Um, my guess would be something fire related because it is Ninetales, and Ninetales ain't afraid to give a few burns. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You get it cursed for 1,000 years if you're messing with Ninetales tails. So try not to do that if you walk up on one day. But yeah, our trivia for next week, the question is, which Pokemon is number 1 on the original Pokédex? Now, most of you OG Pokemon players are going to know this by heart. You're going to know it just from looking at a Pokédex and seeing what the first Pokemon is in there. Jill, you got any guesses? If you know it, don't say it,
Um,
because it's one of them, if you know what I'm saying.
okay. I know what it is.
Jill has looked at the poster in our room here, but yep, we will be releasing the answer for that next week, but that's going to be a show. It would mean the world to you guys if you could give us a follow on Instagram, Poke.n00b or PokeNoob Podcast. I also have a link tree in my bio, which gives all the links to everything we do. If you could go to anchor.fm/PokeNoob Podcast, you can leave some audio voice messages on there that we can actually play on the show, or some actual, questions, messages, opinions, whatever you want to say, we'll let you on the show. We're nice like that. But if you could give us a review on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you're listening to, that would mean a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you also want to give us an email at pokepodcastmon@gmail.com, that's POKE podcastmon@gmail.com. Yet again, we will be answering all questions, talking about anything you guys want to talk about, doing our best to appeal to you guys. But yet again, that's going to be a show for this week. Anything you want to say before we close it out, Jill? You had a good show?
Oh yeah, I always enjoy.
Oh, yeah. It's also nice to pull some hollows, open some cards. It's the best time to open them because, when we pull something good, it's remembered forever, you know, on the podcast, in the books. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.